morning. Welcome to the Southern Maryland Higher Education Center. Another beautiful sunny day in Southern Maryland. We're here today to tell you a little bit about the center, its history, about the structure itself, the classrooms, how the classrooms are used, a little bit about the students who attend classes here. We're now 19 years old. We started in September of 1995. The initial programs were education programs, but we were initially designed by legislation when we were created to bring engineering programs to Southern Maryland, and we did eventually in the second year of our opening. We're essentially a small university with over 90 academic programs, 5 doctorates, 52 master's degrees, 14 bachelor's degree programs, a large number of graduate certificate programs in engineering and education, and a large number of certification programs in graduate education as well, so that teachers can qualify in specializations. The center initially was opened, as I mentioned, in 1995, September. It was provided with funding from the state, a grant to the county. The county built the first building, which is to my right here, and after it was built, it was turned over to the Board of Governors of the center. The Board of Governors, I should mention, is a 13-member body. It's like a Board of Trustees. The members are appointed by the Governor of the state of Maryland. There are 13 members. There are members from St. Mary's County and from Charles County and from Calvert County as well. They serve for 4-year terms. The second building was funded by capital financing for higher education, and about a 36,000 square foot building compared to the 22,000 square feet in the first building. And it provided an additional 21 classrooms for multiple uses, and we'll see that. We'll first go through what we call building number 1 and see the mechanical engineering lab and some classrooms, multi-purpose room, and some of the spaces that are in that building. In the first building that was opened in 1995, we call it the first classroom building. It has about 20 classrooms and offices for university coordinators, and a couple of meeting rooms, a multi-purpose room, rooms that have been utilized to allow community groups to conduct training, special events, even weddings, but a lot of training, significant training that the Navy undertakes, and other organizations as well. I'd like to show you the engineering lab at this point. Well, we're now in the engineering lab that's utilized for the bachelor's degree that's offered by the University of Maryland at College Park in mechanical engineering, and will be utilized for electrical engineering as well. The equipment in here was provided by the Navy at the Jackson River, and it was assembled by the Navy as well. It was a major gift, if you will, to the educational opportunities, because without the laboratory we would not be able to offer a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering, which is the principal subject for which this lab was created. We have about 25 students in the bachelor's program at this point in time. So we'll show you some of the equipment that's now in its 5th year. While the equipment may look new, it's because it's well maintained. It was new when it was purchased. It allows individuals to draw an object on a computer and to then produce it in 3D as a final product. It's a plastic reproduction of the drawing, but it's this kind of equipment that allows engineers to build equipment, new equipment, and to assemble it part by part by creating each part initially in plastic, a plastic substance, and then subsequently in metal, whatever the metal, the appropriate metal might be for the particular product that they're building. It is possible to build in plastic an entire jet engine with this machine. All of the equipment in the laboratory has a computer readout capability. In this case, you can see the screen. This is an impact machine. This is a US-built product. There are 4 different systems like this that provide an opportunity to test the results of impact given a certain velocity that's measured, given a certain thickness and quality of the metal that's being tested, with the results of the impact at the specific speeds that are set for this machine to determine what will happen when an object flying presumably would be hit by another object, what resistance the metal would have to that impact. Magnification is very important, so we have equipment that is extremely high-tech and high quality for the most fastidious level of microscopic work. To see what the impacts are on metal, to see what the surface of metal looks like after it's been disturbed, after it's been tested with some object, to determine its strength and reliability and its ability to withstand damage. This is additional Tinius-Olson equipment that measures impact at given speeds, different levels of density of metal that's placed in this space right here, and there's an impact that takes place that's measured entirely by the computer. And this particular machine will stretch material. Other machines will twist material to determine its resistance. All of that being measured. Then we have here grinders that are and diamond cutting machines that are necessary for shaping metal and determining what its surface will look like given certain conditions. We're in one of our large seminar rooms. This is a room that is replicated. There are 7 of these classrooms in this building and 6 of this size in the second building. These rooms have served us really very well. They sit 24 individuals relatively comfortably for 3-hour classes, 15 weeks in a semester. And they're equipped with the audio-visual equipment that we need, a laser projector from the ceiling and a computer so that we're connected to the internet and we can do PowerPoint presentations, bring in materials from outside for display purposes, educational purposes. And these rooms serve us very nicely. Well, you're in the helicopter simulator room. This is an M60 helicopter setup. We have a film that can be run from Norfolk to Washington, D.C., and also for Western Tennessee, an Army base in Western Tennessee. The equipment is fully functional, it's digital. The pilots literally fly from either the ground level or from a start at 500 feet and control the aircraft through all of its flight characteristics. fairly difficult for novices to start this process. But it was constructed for us by NavAir, and the equipment was delivered to us from NavAir and contributed so that this function could take place here. This has just recently been set up by the University of Maryland in College Park for students. It's a flight simulator for an F-15 aircraft that, of course, is an Air Force plane, not a Navy plane, but still has the instrumentation and it's not in the final assembly. It's in the process of being assembled, but we'll have this capability as well in this room, our helicopter simulation room. We're in the laboratory for our Master's of Nursing Practice degree. The degree leads to the nursing practitioner certification in the master's program. It's offered by Bowie State University. The program is highly effective and is preparing people in Southern Maryland for this profession of nurse practitioner. Seminar rooms at the center are essentially in two sizes. We saw one room that holds 24 students, and this room holds about 16 students. And those are the two varieties that we have. In building 3, that's on the drawing boards and will take a few years to be built and will open up in perhaps early 2018, we'll have rooms with a capacity up to 36. There'll be 17 additional classrooms in building 3. Again, the rooms are all equipped with laser projectors and computers and are fully ready for teaching at any time. But most of our classes, again, are throughout the evening and on weekends. Thank you. We're in a student lounge area. There are 2 at the center, 1 in each building, and this space can be used at any time during the day, but it's particularly useful between classes or while students are getting ready for class. They can relax here. There are food machines, drink machines, and a cater area, a vending machine area, and so we try to make places like this comfortable for students as they come into the center and get ready for their classes. This room is designated a teacher resource room. It allows teachers to utilize lesson plans to collect information that's useful and perhaps necessary in their teaching role, and it's available to all teachers in Southern Maryland. There are linkages to data sources, resources, journals, and it's fully utilized on a continuing basis. It's been in existence for about 10 years of the center's 18-year existence. We have frequently referred to this building as a cathedral of learning, reflecting the peak ceiling and the clear story windows. As you note, that it provides sunshine during the daytime inside the building. Most of the rooms have windows. The hallways usually in academic buildings are dark, but not at the center. We have clear story windows in the hallways in both buildings, and it makes the building much more attractive and easier to be in all times of the year. It can be very hot and muggy outside, but it's comfortable and cool inside, or very cold in the winter outside and warm and comfortable inside with plenty of natural light. We're now in the multi-purpose room in Building 1. This room has served us for educational purposes and the community for meetings and conferences and luncheons and special events. We've had weddings in here, we've had birthdays, convocations, we've had recognition ceremonies for graduates, all kinds of programs. Last night the Cosmic Symphony Orchestra was rehearsing in this room. The sound is fantastic in the room. It's built like an arena, as you'll see. We're in the training room in building 1. We call it room 123. It's a room that has a capacity for 48 students, as you see, in groups of 6, with 2 screens and 2 laser projectors. It's a great training presence as well. So it's another facility for use by the community that the construction of the center back in 1995 provided. We have a management system for events and to facilitate the scheduling so that we don't have any duplication of schedules. And we run this process of scheduling meetings and conferences and special events very much the way a hotel conference center will run its operations, so there aren't any duplications or any errors. We're very careful about that. We do this in a very professional way. We're in the center courtyard area, space between the 2 buildings. Provides a casual setting for students meeting before classes or after classes. When they take breaks, they're looking for an opportunity to step outside and enjoy the landscape. And this is a memorial for John Thomas Perrin, who was on the Board of Governors for the first 8 years of the center's existence. John Thomas Perrin was a state senator in his career, retired from that post years ago, then served before that as a county commissioner. And he lived in Indian Head in Charles County, and he represented Charles County throughout his career and in his service as a member of the board. He passed away in 2004, and we had a service here in his memory, and put this plaque here to memorialize his service to the center and to Suffolk, Maryland. We're now in the lobby for Building 2 of Classroom Building 2, which opened in January of 2003. It's a fairly large facility, about 50% larger than the first building, 21 classrooms and studios in this building. And also with clear story windows in the hallways, as you'll know. This is a brief overview of a large classroom in Building 2. As you'll note, it's very similar in size and configuration to Building 1. In this room, we have strips for outlets for power and for data, laser projectors, of course, and computers, so that we're fully equipped with the latest audio-visual equipment. This is one of the smaller classrooms in Building 2. We use it as a conference room, board meetings, and classroom as well. And it's the size for smaller classrooms and seminar rooms in the centers. But just an overview of the academic performance of the center. As I mentioned, over 2,100 graduates here at the center. They took their classes in various fields. 1,819 master's degrees have been awarded to students taking classes here. That's an enormous number of people, as you will note. 43 individuals have earned their doctorates here, and 242 have earned bachelor's degrees. How many classrooms, how many classes have been taken? How many seminars have been enrolled in, if you will? We call those class enrollments. Someone registers for a class for 15 weeks, for 45 hours of instruction, usually 3 hours a night for 15 weeks. It's 45 hours. That's one class enrollment. In our 18 years of performance, we've had 41,075 class enrollments. I'll repeat that, 41,000. In education, some 20,919 class enrollments by teachers and administrators from Southern Maryland. In management classes, business classes, 5,766 class enrollments. And in social work, counseling, nursing, criminal justice will be joining that, some 3,260 class enrollments. In the STEM fields, engineering, science, technology, generally we have over 11,000 class enrollments. In terms of performance by universities in this field, Johns Hopkins University, 7,000 class enrollments. George Washington University, mostly at the doctoral level, 706 class enrollments. Capitol College, mostly at the bachelor's engineering level in electrical engineering and computer engineering, 1,502 class enrollments. The University of Maryland at College Park, at the graduate level, 1,072 class enrollments. The University of Maryland College Park, again at the bachelor's level for the mechanical engineering program, some 628 class enrollments. And Towson University offering degree programs in the teaching of math at the secondary level and the middle level of education, some 317 class enrollments. So over 11,000 class enrollments in STEM fields at the center. As you might recall, the catalyst for the creation of the center was a RAC process in the 1990s when 6,000 people being transferred indicated that they were concerned that they couldn't continue their professional education if they came here because of the distances to universities. And so the center was created, was built, and universities were recruited to offer the 90 or so degree programs that we now offer. Over 30 of those programs are in engineering and technology, over 30 programs in education. Of course, teachers were required to continue their education, and were traveling the great distances of 200-mile round trips to do that as necessary. So that hasn't been necessary because of the high number of education programs that have been offered here, recruited for teachers and administrators, and over 20,000 class enrollments in education. To my right is the bookstore, which is also a computer lab and a lounge for students. And a lot of events take place here, and receptions are usually in that room or in the gallery or in this rotunda area. So let's progress into the gallery area. Taking the opportunity to show you this gallery area that has a dimension feature that's unique. It looks a lot longer than it really is. It's significant in its length, and you'll notice that the walls are wide here and narrow down at the other end. The ceiling is higher here and narrows down, and plenty of light, lots of light, so it's beautiful in that respect. But I want you to see what this looks like from the other end, because your brain will tell you one thing and your eyes will tell you something else. It's part of Da Vinci's playfulness with architecture. And now you'll see Leonardo da Vinci's mastermind at work. You'll notice as you look down this corridor that the walls are now parallel to each other and the ceiling is parallel to the floor. We're now in one of the center's computer laboratories. It's being used for training of the training program today, and we're in the lunch break, so you can step in to take this picture. Computer labs are used frequently for training programs and are available for training at any point in time. Well, again, this is Mel Powell, Executive Director of the Southern Maryland Higher Education Center. Delighted that you were able to be with us today to take this tour of the center and its academic facilities. Resources are available for higher education and for training and for special events. We're delighted that it's as well used as it has been. As you can see, it's busy during the daytime for special activities, for training programs, but the majority of our work, of course, is in the evening when we have classes for our degree programs and on weekends as well. So if you have any questions that you'd like to ask about the center or any of its programs, our telephone number is 301-737-2500. My email address is mpowell@smhec.org, and we're available at any time to answer any questions that you have, and come and visit anytime that you wish. Thank you.